Today I'm going to work in dry pastels, which is my preferred medium. One of the things I like most about being an artist is that I'm constantly looking for beauty. I'm constantly feeding my visual soul, so to speak, with beauty, and it's really all around. But unless we stop and look, unless we take the time to look, we'll go right through it. It's like driving too fast through a small country road. There's so many cool things to see. And it's like life, really. If we're too busy, if we don't stop and look at the beautiful things and appreciate those things, what's the use? So kind of the subject of this whole thing will be this tree. So I'm gonna lay, that's like my main point. So I'm gonna lay that in first in just a very general kind of way. If you haven't been to the Loop, you gotta go. It's several thousand acres, it's all state park, and it's unmolested, full of birds and gators and hogs and wonderful landscapes. And it's one of my favorite places to paint. I was painting there earlier today, as a matter of fact. This is early in the morning there, and when the sun is low, either in the morning or in the evening, I get all excited because it intensifies and it also is richer. It's got more reds in it. Earlier, the sky was a really nice color, and even though it's now overcast, the sky had a lot of yellow-orange tint with a magenta in it. And so what I'll do is I'll start laying that in a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm establishing relationships. My darkest darks are on the shoreline over here and right here. So that's really an important thing for me to get in right away. I use both hands when I paint. A part of me, I like using my left hand to think with, if there's such a thing, and sort of use my right hand to execute. So one of the things I love about pastel is that it's a very kinesthetic, tactile application of the medium. The amount of pressure that I apply, how I apply and push my stroke determines the way it is indicated in the painting. So it's a very satisfying thing to me. If I lose my concentration and I push too hard, I can actually break these pastels depending on how soft they are. What I can do with this is, because of the texture of the support, I can soften my sky like this, and then it adds a 3D element to it. So I can soften the edges, because in reality, as you look at it in the distance, edges aren't defined as much as they are close. A close edge is usually harder. Also, edges define the focus of the painting, so I want to keep my edges soft so that we're led right to where I want you to look. The pastels, they just come out so fast, and so, because they're so immediate. I don't have to wait for anything to dry to go to the next step. I love painting nature. Sometimes they're seascapes, but more often than not, they may be rivers or lakes, and oftentimes paths or roads, because of the analogy to life. I see life as a path or a river. And I believe that nature, reconnecting with nature and standing there and really listening to what is coming into me, both visually and auditorily, and my feelings about it. What I look for when I start doing a painting, I start looking and saying things like, the way that this color is laid against this color, or this dark is against this light, or the way the turn in the composition, the S-turn or circle composition, or there's a lot of different kinds of compositions, but I see things that are already there. Now these branches go out to the left, but I don't want to make them too strong because I'll draw people out of the painting. And the idea is to get them to go back in, but I'll use this tree here is going to be dominant, so I'll be able to use that. The reason why I overlay colors is because I like the tension that it creates. I like the dance of the different colors here. When I look out here, I see blues and reds and yellows and oranges and greens. I see a lot of different colors. So I don't want to go too wild with it because this is just a small format painting, but I think it's just, I'm just trying to say what I see in this piece. I was looking at the general tones and how the colors were just sort of dancing this morning. It's what kind of struck me. And so I try to capture that. And that's how I know when a painting's finished, is that I can say, when I look at the piece, that's what I saw, that's what drove me to paint this. Ooh, that changes everything. Look how illuminated the shadows are and stuff. And that's what I really like. In photography, the darks just go really way too dark, but in actuality, they have a luminescence in the shadows. And I like to pick that up if I'm able to. I feel like this has pretty much got it, and I'm going to sign it now. I might work on it later, but by signing it, I'm going to signify that I'm kind of ready to roll with it. Da Vinci said that a painting never really is finished. It only stops in interesting places.